Viewers, thanks for tuning back into Dúchascopy TV. Well, today we're going to have a look at the bond markets. Recently, we witnessed a change in the bond markets due to some talk that the Eurozone is healing. Well, today I have Daniel Varela with me in the studio from Piguet Galland, and today we're going to have a look at the bond markets. So first of all, what do you think about US Treasury bonds? And also, do you think the Eurozone, the whole idea that it's improving, is good for the markets and global economy, or are you concerned about the bond markets at all?
Not really concerned. It's good that confidence is returning to bond markets, and mainly in the Eurozone, because we've seen last year that there was a lot of risk perception, and investors were afraid to invest in Eurozone bonds, and mainly on peripheral governments. So confidence is returning, and this is good. For treasuries, I don't see a huge risk, because we've seen a small backup in yields recently. This is quite normal, because the economy is healing a little bit, and we see that economic risks and financial risks are receding a little bit. So it's quite normal that there is a small backup in yields, but I don't see a spike in yields, because the world economy still is quite low. It's healing very progressively, and we don't see a risk in inflation returning, so no risk of a bond crash.
Spain is planning to sell 3.5 to 4.5 billion euros in bonds. Now, do you think this will have a big impact on the markets, and how big a help will it be to Spain?
So this is part of their traditional refinancing auctions, and these auctions are planned for the rest of the year. What is not really planned is the amount that they will be able to get from the markets, and obviously this will depend on market confidence. Very recently we've seen that there are some political uncertainties concerning Spain. Obviously, over the short term, while these uncertainties remain, we might see these auctions quite challenging for Spain if confidence doesn't return to the markets.
And investors have not given up hope in the UK. Foreign investors continue to buy bonds. Now, this is increasing. And do you think the whole idea that Mark Carney is taking over has quite a big impact on this? And do you think the UK will actually do quite well this year in terms of economy?
So the economy, UK economy, is also healing, and we don't see perspectives of seeing huge growth in the next few quarters. There is still a lot of interest for the bond market, the UK bond market, for a reason, because this is one of the best governments. It still has a AAA rating. And the fact that the economy is healing somewhat shows that the AAA rating is less at risk. So yes, demand will stay quite high for UK bonds, UK gilts. But here also we don't see the UK economy improving so much that it presents a risk of a strong backup in yields and a bond crash. So probably the demand will stay quite high.
And looking to the rest of the globe in terms of the bond markets, what do you see happening?
So we have around the world a very accommodative monetary policy, and we even see that some central banks are even printing money. So this money has to go somewhere, and probably it fits with equities outperforming government bonds, but also the most risky segments in the bond market should also outperform. So clearly we should see corporates and even high yield bonds around the world outperform governments, and the less quality government bonds in the world should also outperform the best governments.
Thank you very much for sharing your insight with us on the bond market today.
Thank you.
Now, Daniel, we're going to have a look at our Dúchascopy special question today. So if you had 1 million, where would you invest it? Would you invest in real estate, equity, bonds, gold, oil, or cash?
Definitely, as I see equities outperforming government bonds, I would definitely overweight equities.
And why is this? Any other reasons?
So we have central banks that will keep very accommodative monetary policies around the world, and money is pushed into the system by central banks. This money has to go somewhere, and after we have seen that economic risks and financial risks have receded recently, probably investors will take more risks this year and will look for gaining money in the markets that present more risk but more opportunities. And probably equities right now are the most interesting area to invest.
Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you.
Well, viewers, equities does seem to be a popular choice for a Dukascopy question here on Dukascopy TV. Well, that is it for right now, but do stay tuned for more interesting interviews and press reviews. But for now, goodbye.